All right, news this morning as Adam Schefter reports that Jauan Jennings is seeking a new contract from the 49ers. If he doesn't get it, going to request a trade. My only question is, what took so long? I think we could see this coming from a long time ago with Jauan Jennings underpaid, entering the final year of his contract at $7 million now with that wide receiver market the way it is. An agent told me in May when I wrote a first story about Jauan Jennings and is he going to bet on himself? He's going to get a contract extension or get a contract at some point. Is it going to be from the 49ers or with another team? Basically in the $7.5 million range for Jauan Jennings with the contract he signed last year. He certainly outperformed that contract. And now with the 49ers, Brandon Ayuk having the torn ACL may not be available for several games of the season. You have Demarcus Robinson, whose court case has been handled, pleading no contest to the DUI charges misdemeanor. He could be on the hook for a 3-game suspension. So Jennings, coming off of what was essentially a 1,000-yard season, very clearly the focal point of the 49ers passing game. And what an agent told me was that, he's going to be getting a contract. If he were to sign a contract today, it should be somewhere in the 11, 12, even up to $15 million per season range. And so the leverage that Jauan Jennings has right now is significant. That's the kind of money that he can demand on the open market. The problem for him is he's not on the open market. He is under contract for this season, and it really limits when a player is under contract what he can do as far as using that leverage. He could hold out, but there are significant penalties for holding out from the first day of training camp. So why is this news coming out now? It's coming out now because the 49ers open training camp in July 22nd. So a week, 8 days before that has to be done as far as him being subject to those significant fines. So he could request a trade, but the 49ers history has been that they don't cave in to trade requests. I remember back in the day, it was, Robbie Gould who asked for a trade and didn't get it. It was, obviously Deebo Samuel, who in the past had asked for a trade, didn't get it. Brandon Ayuk, the same thing. And I'm sure there are other players who have asked for trades and didn't get it. Finally, the 49ers did trade Deebo Samuel, but they only trade these guys when it suits their purpose, when it benefits them to do the trade. And for the case of Deebo Samuel, that was definitely a mutual thing. It kind of seemed as if his time with the 49ers was over. And, I think they liked the fact that Deebo Samuel, in the exit meeting with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, determined that, maybe it's time for a clean break. And that's what the 49ers were able to do. So they were able to shed that future salary. They're taking a big cap hit this year, but he's completely off the books after this season, which helps the 49ers long-term salary cap health. The question is, will the 49ers go to those lengths, signing Jauan Jennings to a $15 million a year deal? I think it's unlikely. Ultimately, probably what happens would be that Jauan Jennings is kind of forced to bet on himself, that he has to play this final year of the contract. We'll see, where it goes. I'm sure the 49ers are open to signing him to an extension, but where it goes from here, we'll see, because it's not a clear cut. 49ers should sign him with Brandon Ayuk on the books for his significant contract into the future. 49ers have, they've devoted some draft capital in order to get rookies. Last year was Ricky Pearsall and Jacob Cowing. This year, Jordan Watkins. And interestingly, when I talked to Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle at the American Century Golf Tournament, both of them unsolicited, or at least when I asked kind of a wide-ranging question about rookies, both of them mentioned Jordan Watkins, the wide receiver from Ole Miss that the 49ers took in the 4th round. So It'll be interesting to see how this thing plays out, but clearly no huge surprise that Jauan Jennings is angling for a new contract. Probably no surprise that the talk of the trade request is out there. I guess the only question is why did it take so long for that to happen? And it seems, I know that Jauan Jennings was there for the offseason program. He missed the last few practices that I was there for due to some calf injury. Kind of makes you wonder if that was indeed the case. But I do know that early in the offseason program, Jauan Jennings was an absolute star on the field. 49ers need Jauan Jennings because of the uncertainty across the board at the wide receiver position. So really right now his leverage has never been higher to angle toward that big time contract. So a little bit of contract drama with the 49ers after an offseason that had been basically drama free. Now we got something with Jauan Jennings and Colton McKivitz, the only starters on the team who are scheduled for free agency a year from now in 2026. And Jauan Jennings obviously doesn't want to reach free agency. He wants the 49ers to take care of him now, and he wants some security as far as long-term financial security, and he wants it from the 49ers, or he says, or his representation says, trade him to a team that will give him that long-term financial security. So that's my quick take on Jauan Jennings and the 49ers. Veteran scheduled to report on July 22nd, and we'll see where Jauan Jennings takes it from here and where the 49ers take it from here.